There's interesting stories of inclusion or relationship of Bangladesh with World Press Photo, which I would request Shahidul to share. But in last 3 years, Drik Picture Library has been the Asia partner, as a regional partner. Drik Picture Library is working with World Press Photo to organize the regional contest here. And this is the exhibition which took place in Amsterdam. There was winning ceremony, a flagship exhibition, then it started roaming around all around the world, and now it's in Dhaka. I would like to invite Dr. Shahidul Alam, Managing Director of Drik Picture Library, to accompany His Excellency Irma van. Irma? Yes, please. To join us here. And Irene Khan. This exhibition happened, the contest happened this year, beginning of this year, which included the best work from 2023. And it was from the 4 categories. It had stories, it had singles, it had long format work, and open format. So the 4 category winners are here.
It does go a long way back, and I'm not going to go through the entire story, so you can relax. But it is very significant because World Press Photo was in fact the show that launched the Drik Gallery. Way back in 1993, we didn't actually have a gallery at that time, and I promised World Press that we would show it in Dhaka without telling them we didn't have a gallery. There was the predecessor of Irma, yes, Mr. Khan, and he came over very excited that we were going to have World Press Photo in Bangladesh. Where are you going to show it? In our gallery. Where's your gallery? You're standing there. And he looks around and he panics. But luckily for us, he didn't pull the plug. Maybe he told World Press, but at least no one pulled the plug, and we continued. We built a gallery in 17 days. And when the crates from World Press arrived, our walls were wet. But we continued. There was just one little request from my colleagues that I give a longish speech to allow the walls to dry. But other than that, and I say that for a very different reason, because in a sense, World Press Photo was Bangladesh's introduction to global photojournalism. Today, Bangladesh holds a very high position within the world of photojournalism, and people like Reza, I see Mawa there are many people here who have made their mark in global photojournalism. Right now, one of our colleagues, a former student of Pathshala, Monem Wasid, is in Amsterdam running masterclass. And there is another Pathshala student who's his student. Many years ago, I was the masterclass, and Wasif was my student. So it's a very interesting continuation that's taking place based on World Press, what it has done, what it's achieved. But I must, at this time, also point out a relationship that goes much deeper than that, in the sense that we all know of a change in regime that has taken place in Bangladesh, the fact that we had a very repressive regime for a very long time, and during that time, we were considered very toxic. Very few people wanted to come near us. We lost all our corporate clients, and I remember talking to Reza about this when I was in jail, the fact that very, very few people stood there beside us, and the Dutch embassy was one of them. They took risks. There were times when we didn't say everything from either side, but we continued to do a whole lot of things which, in a sense, has allowed us to get where we are. This place has been a place of resistance. This place has been a place which has created space for others. This has been a place that has allowed dissidents in a country where freedom of speech was very, very, very deeply in trouble for a very long time. I'm sure Irene will talk about that when it's her turn. But I would like to take the time to thank Irma herself, but her colleagues, the Netherlands Embassy, and several other organizations, which really took huge risks, friendship that we had. So we are very grateful for that. But World Press coming here is important for other reasons as well, because media is so important for a country to be able to develop for democracy and freedom. And at a time when democracy and freedom are both in tremendous threat across the globe, the fact that we can have freedom of expression is very important. That media freedom is celebrated is that important. And I say this especially because when we first decided to have World Press Photo here, one of the conditions of World Press going to a country or showing in a country is that it cannot be censored. There are always pictures which are sensitive. There are always countries which find certain images, certain representations problematic, and invariably they're the ones who want those pictures to be excluded. And the condition, the precondition for World Press to be shown is that it will be shown unedited. The work that has been submitted, the work that has been selected, will be shown as it is, regardless of where it is shown. And we took that opportunity at that time in 1993, and at that time Army League and BNP were fighting each other as they have done ever since. And we took that opportunity. We couldn't get Hasina and Khalida together. I thought that was going to be too difficult. But we did get the two deputy heads of these two parties to come together and cut the ribbon for World Press Photo. And it's the only time in the history of Bangladesh it has ever happened. We've not been able to repeat it ourselves, but I think the idea is still there, that we can work together, that we can be constructive, and that we can work towards nation building collectively. So that was a very, very important step. But what has also happened is we, with World Press Photo, with the Dutch Embassy, done a whole lot of things which really has made a huge difference to the media landscape in Bangladesh. I'm not going to spend more time talking about it. I want to hold World Press Photo. Do come and see it, give us your feedback. But more importantly than that, I think we should take this opportunity to celebrate the fact that there is press freedom in Bangladesh, that there is freedom, that there is democracy, and at this particular point in time, we look forward to what this nation can become. Thank you.
As Shahidul said, you know, the freedom of expression is a pillar of democracy. It's a tool for empowering people, and it is an issue of human dignity. And what you see here in the images is the power of expression. And I believe that images, and I know Shahidul certainly will, and all the photojournalists here will agree with me, that images, one image speaks more than 10,000 words. You know, you will forget the op-ed you read in the paper. You will forget what someone said to you or lecture, but you will remember the picture. And I think that is the power that we see in this room. I shouldn't be here today, actually. It's purely accidentally that I happen to be in Dhaka. I'm supposed to be in New York right now. I'm just coming, got short my trip to New York, and I was there to talk about Gaza. Freedom of expression, the impact of the conflict in Gaza on freedom of expression around the world. And that is why it gives me particular pleasure to be here right now at a moment when you have this iconic image, which speaks more than any words can about the horror, the tragedy, the pain that people, ordinary people, are going through in Gaza right now. It explains the meaning of genocide in a way that I don't believe any judgment ever will. And so it is that image that Shahidul was saying, which is so important for us as human beings to have the power to capture those images and to share with others and to discuss what they mean so that we do not repeat horrors like that. There are also pictures around here, I'm sure, of hope, of inspiration, of many other human emotions. It's all extremely valuable for us as human beings to remember and I think to hold on to the value of freedom of expression. I think it's also important to remember, I wanted to say that here I would also like to recognize the power of the international community and what governments do to strengthen and support civil society, support media, to support journalists, and to support those who want to create. The power of creation is very, very important, I think, in any society, democratic or not. But in democratic society, it's really the lifeblood of democracy. And countries like the Netherlands, and there are a number of you here, I will not name you because I'm sure I'll miss some, who belong to the Media Freedom Coalition, who have been promoting from all regions of the world, who have been promoting media freedom. And I would encourage you to continue to do that. And here you see in reality what it can do to a nation, which is hard when you're sitting in New York in those big assembly halls, or you're sitting in your own ministries, in your own capitals, to imagine how important that support is for people. It's also solidarity, a sense of solidarity that comes through art. And this is where I would also like to make this point about, yes, an image says more than 10,000 words, but an image also creates solidarity in a way that many other means do not. And what you see here, and I think what the World Press Photo for me does, I'm not a journalist, I'm not a photographer. For me, this is art, this is beauty, but what shows is how people come together. How people come together to share the experiences, to capture it. And I think it's extremely important. We've seen that in this country. One of the big challenges we've had has been the lack of solidarity. Solidarity is destroyed by authoritarian regimes. It is only by dividing us, by breaking what is common, and by favoring some and disfavoring the rest, that power of that kind persists. And that is why I think the solidarity that you see in this room through the pictures from around the world is a means through which we hope here we can move to better times. We're living through very difficult times. We've lived through even more difficult times in the past. So as a nation, I think we are prepared for it, but we do need solidarity, help, understanding, and we do need to protect our freedom of expression. I keep saying that every time I come here. The last time I was here, I talked about the at that time, the Digital Security Act, and how it threatened our freedom to say what we want, to show what we want. Unfortunately, the successor of that same act persists today, despite a new regime in place, a new times ahead. So I hope the next time I'm here, Shahidul, that act will not be here, and those who have the power to change that act will hear me from here, I hope. Because we do not need those kinds of barriers. We need to be able to express ourselves, and those in power need to be able to have the resilience to withstand criticism, because that is the way to progress. And as Shahidul said, resistance, this was a place of resistance. Resistance is always needed. We should never take democracy complacently. Those of you who are here from democratic countries, you know what complacency does, even in long-standing democracies. Let me end with remembering another image. We will all remember this iconic image, but there is another image on Shahidul's chest. That was an image that moved millions of people to march on the streets of Bangladesh not so long ago, and to win our second liberation. So it shows the power that images have, and that is why, Shahidul, your art, your journalism that you're promoting here, photojournalism, is so important for generations here and in other places. And I would ask the international community members here to remember that and to support us on the international stage and in our local communities very much. I would ask the people who are here from this country to remember the value of freedom of expression, because there are many other rights that are important, but without the right to expression, nothing would work, neither education nor elections. So from economic and social rights to civil and political rights, it's a bridge. And I think Shahidul has been very modest. He hasn't spoken very much about himself. But he has lived through this in his own life. And Drik Gallery now has become a center for civil society here. And we hope that it will even go further. and spread it around. Maybe we'll see lots of Drik galleries around the country, perhaps around the world, who knows. This is a very, very powerful place, and it's a powerful place that also seeks accountability from others. So it's not power without accountability, which is what I like about it. And this, well, I've probably said a lot more than the press photo exhibition, but it's a lot more than an exhibition that is captured here. And I hope you will take inspiration from it and go out, spread the word, and stand up for those who speak up.
Good afternoon, everyone. I feel a bit humble, I must say, to stand here next to Irene and Shahidul, such great people, and I think we are very fortunate that you, it's not for a fortunate occasion that you are here, Irene, but thank you for being with us and for saying those very inspiring words. When I came to Bangladesh, can we get the World Press Photo Exhibition to Dhaka? And I didn't have to think, because I said immediately, yes, let's do that. Because I've been working in other countries, of course, and wherever I am, one thing I always try to do is to get the World Press Photo Exhibition to that particular country. And I'm proud of World Press Photo. It's a Dutch thing. It is an initiative of World Press Photo Foundation, a Dutch foundation, and which it was already mentioned that this foundation was established 6 decades ago in the 50s. The first, actually the first winning photo was published in 1955. It actually originated from a union of photojournalists, Dutch photojournalists. They had a Dutch photo competition called the Silver Camera, but at some point they thought, let's make it a bit broader, let's go international, and let's make this have another competition for photojournalists from around the world. And so we went through the 60s, 70s, 80s. A lot of things happened. There was a lot of political controversy at times, especially during the Cold War. But the foundation always tried to remain independent. And of course, they also went with the time. Some of the photos, the winning photos, are very iconic. Everybody knows them. It's actually become the most prestigious World Photo Exhibition that is existing. So I'm always proud to get this exhibition to the country that I'm working in. And I'm very proud that we have it in Dhaka today. I was going through the list today of countries that this particular exhibition is traveling, and there was a lot of European places, there was Canada, and then I saw Bangladesh, and I thought, yes, we did it. We did it together. It's always a bit of a struggle. We need to get funds together, we need to get the transportation, but it was great to work with you on this project together. Yes, a lot has been said already about the importance, of course, of the exhibition. It's not only the exhibition, there's the masterclass, there's lots of educational activities on photojournalism, and I actually didn't know that you were in this masterclass and that other Bangladeshi photojournalists were in the masterclass, so it's very good to hear. But there's a lot of also training, local training initiatives in many countries, especially for those photojournalists who do not have access to technology or the means that some others have. So there's lots, it has become quite a big thing. And why is it so important for me to bring this to the countries that I work in? It has also something personal for me. I've been working in the last 40 years of my career. I'm almost retiring, as everybody knows, in quite far out places, and often war zones. I've been in Eastern Congo, Darfur, Eritrea, Yemen for many years, and there's a lot of things happening in those places, but nobody knows about it. Who knows what is happening in Eastern Congo? If you ask, they will say, there must be some, doesn't sound good, something with a war or something, but we don't know exactly. And of course, one of the things that World Press Photo does is go to such kind of places and tell the story of what is happening in those places. If you look here on the left, you see photos of migrants, going from Mexico to the US. You see photos of the results of climate change. And sometimes, if you look at, I don't know if it's downstairs, but there are also some very impressive photos of the conflict in Tigray. Those are places that not many people know about. In Tigray, there's a lot of victims of sexual violence, and some of them are photographed by a journalist, and it's part of this exhibition. And so it reminds us also of some of those stories that are forgotten, places that we don't know about. It's good that those stories are being told. It's good that people engage with those stories. It's also good that sometimes people, like you also say, take action. Feel like I should do something about this. So it's a very powerful tool. Of course, as you said, we are part of the Media Freedom Coalition as the Netherlands. We are a very active member. We as our ministry, media freedom is human rights, of course, are priorities. So that's also part of how we get actually money for this, because there's a few funds available for that. So that's it for me. I don't know how we do the opening, Shahidul.
Just announce.
Can I just announce? Okay.
I do have a small comment before that.
Okay, but thank you very much again, and also for your words. Thank you. Yes, we've been with you, and we are proud that we've been with you. And we also hope, of course, that next year, I'm sure there will be some photos of what happened in Bangladesh in this exhibition, because it was incredible. And there's some very, very compelling photos which were here in the same gallery shown a few weeks ago. And yes, it was very significant, as you also said. And from my side, I just hope, the future will be the future that you want for this country. So first, back to you. Yeah.
So before we hand it over back to Irma to officially announce it open, I'd just like to say thank you to a few people. One is, of course, to Rezaur Rahman, who put this show together along with his team. And that's very interesting, because in the past, this exhibit was freighted across from the Netherlands to be shown, and there was no way anyone could interfere. It's a credit to Reza and his team that we've now been able to establish our credibility that the show is actually produced in Bangladesh. Quite apart from the carbon footprint it reduces, it also means that we have now come of age, that we can, in Bangladesh, produce an international quality exhibition which then goes to other places. And they work very hard to make it happen. But also, as Irma mentioned, a show like this does require financial support, and the Dutch Embassy, along with Drik, we obviously chipped in to try and make it happen, but the EU also provided support, so I'd like to thank them all for this. And above all, I would like to thank you for being here, because at the end of the day, this is not for us, it's for you. And take the word out, ensure that it goes out there. And at the end of the day, I think together we're able to realize freedom of expression in Bangladesh. That will be the biggest success of all. I'll hand it over to Irma to officially announce the exhibition open.
Okay, I officially announce the exhibition open.
Thank you, Irma. Enjoy the show, but don't forget to visit level 2. The half of the exhibition actually there. Thank you all.
Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Yes!